How's everyone? Hey, Lee. Lee, how are you? Give me 1 second, guys. I'm a bit worn out. So I'm shooting for an hour. And then I'm going to try to go to bed early. I always say that, and I never actually make it to bed early. Hi, Selma. Lee says hi to Selma. Hi, Jessica. Jessica, how are you? JR, how are you, my friend? I saw you over at this. Skit. Hey, there's Skits. Gotta walk the dog. Back soon. Much love. Hi, Kat. Kat, I hope you're going to be a bit more well behaved this evening. Jessica says, hi, Eric. I'm okay. Um, my jaw hurts. I've talked too much. I sang too much this weekend. I talked too much this weekend. So 1 hour. Try to hold me to it. 1 hour, and then I'm going to try to go to bed. I might even take some Advil or a leave. Kat, how's your day been? Lee, how's your weekend been? And Selma, if you're still here, how's your weekend been? We'll do some breath work in a little bit if anyone wants to. I'm going to wait and see if Anna comes in. To make sure all my breathwork people, the regulars. JR says, how's your day been, Yogi? JR, it's been pretty good. We, we had some fun live streams today. Lots of laughs. Kat says it was a long day. I'm sorry, Kat. I'm glad it's over. One more to go. One more, then the weekend starts. Heart Matter says 2 streams in 1 day. This is actually the 4th stream. Well, one was with Jace. We do a 5 a.m. stream, a 1 p.m., and a 5:25 every day. Every day. Every day. No matter how much you guys beg me to not come up, I'm here every day. He says, okay, Yogi, I struggle with Sundays. How so? If you don't mind me asking, what's going on with what's particular about Sundays that causes a struggle? Carmana says, I'm impressed. Well, my superpower is being retentive. My superpower is being anal retentive, showing up every day. Carmana says, I usually find you when I'm at the gym. So that's the afternoon one. Hey, if you don't mind me asking, what time zone are you in? You don't need to say where you're in if you don't want, but what time zone? There's lots of reasons. I don't show up 3 times a day because I have to. I literally show up 3 times a day because I want to. I want to make myself available to do breath work, to talk about meditation, and to be a friend to whoever might need a friend. I love talking about A Course in Miracles. I love talking about yoga, and the subsidiaries of that type of stuff, such as Taoism, a little bit of Buddhism. Oh, wow. Big island of Hawaii. Hey, are you familiar with Ho'oponopono? He says, they always do better. Mondays, Saturday. I'm like Bob Geldof, except I'm not partial to a Sunday. Bob Geldof does not like Mondays. He's not the only one. The Bengals didn't like Mondays either. Sundays was the fun day. Jared says, would you say reading The War of Art was the most helpful book you have read? No, but it's up there. For writing, for me being an artist, for me being a writer, yes, pretty much. When I read the autobiography of a yogi, everything shifted. I knew my path. When I read Deepak Chopra's The Seven Spiritual Laws of Success, my path was cemented. When probably the most important book I've ever read is, I could put Bhagavad Gita, the Tao Te Ching, and the Course in Miracles. And if I had to rank them, Course in Miracles is number one because I knew before I even picked it up, I knew it was my path. Having read about it, and I just knew. And then having it in my hands, even when I put it aside, even when it became too much for me and I put it aside. Heart Matter says, so I haven't heard of it. It's Huna, Hawaiian shamanism, and it is the art of reconciliation and forgiveness. Using 4 phrases we repeat to ourselves. Don't need to say it out loud or to other people, or at least not directly. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And what we're saying, we're not saying we're sorry for someone or for something. We're saying, I'm sorry. I did not recognize that we live in a participatory universe, that there's only consciousness itself, there's only the divine, there's only God and Godhood, God stuff, Godness. And that if something occurs and I'm aware of it, if I'm aware of it now, then in some way, because it occurs within my consciousness, I have a responsibility to it. I'm not saying I'm responsible for it, but I have a responsibility to it, to respond to it. Responsibility, my ability to respond. So I'm sorry, I did not know that. Please forgive me because now that I know, I wish to make amends. And by amends, it's simply saying, thank you, I love you. It's asking for healing for the things that appear within the one mind of the divine. It's a beautiful form of prayer. Hey, Lucy. What kind of workouts do you do, Heart Matters? So for those who are seeking healing, you can go a long way, if not all the way, practicing Ho'oponopono to yourself. Recognize what's going on. Any sickness that you have, any emotional issue that you wish to work on, any relationship that you have with someone that feels fractured, by simply recognizing it. And you can add in something. You can add in, I recognize that because this is occurring within my consciousness, that I have a responsibility. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. As often as you want. Share Bear. Hey, Share Bear. Jessica says hi to Lucy. Sorry, I missed the question. Oh, what kind of workouts do you do? Heart Matters? General fitness, bodybuilding, powerlifting, kettlebells? So, important books. Course of Miracles was a trigger. All those other books, Autobiography of a Yogi, they pointed me in the direction. But it was A Course of Miracles that says, this is it, settle down, do the workbook, read the text, and practice. This is your life path. Forgive. And here's how to do it. Different type of forgiveness than we're used to talking about. I mentioned before, it's maybe 2001, 2002. I was spending time at the Self-Realization Fellowship in College Park, Maryland, University of Maryland. And we would go to Thursday night services where there would be basically uh, it was a yoga sangha spiritual community based upon the teachings of Paramahansa Yogananda, put on by the Self Realization Fellowship, which was his organization. Um, and I was deep in my yogic practice. And the friend that I used to go there, Omro says, Pooted, hee hee. Yeah, it happens. You're probably not the only one. You might not be the only one right now that has done that. You're in good company. We got Soma all the way at the top. That's one of her favorite things to talk about. Hey, Jason. Anyway, my friend who I used to go down there with, we were both students of Paramahansa Yogananda, um, asked me, so what's our path? What's it going to be to gain enlightenment? How are we going to awaken? What's our awakening path? And, he would, Buddhism. Do you think it's the Self-Realization Fellowship in Paramahansa Yogananda? Something else? He knew I had a wide interest, practiced a lot of different things. And without any hesitation and not even knowing why, I said, "Of Course in Miracles." And so it is. Finally, what kind of sheriff abandons his town to all kinds of riffraff and ruffians, skagamuffins? Is that an actual word? Scruffians, malcontents, uh, and just leaves us at their mercy.
I'm sure Deputy Rebecca can handle it, and maybe Cat too. Cat seems like she can hold her own.
Oh, Cat can certainly hold her own, I'm sure. But there's only one sheriff.
There is, but the sheriff has been very busy.
What's up with that?
Just I thought I'd jump in before I go to bed. I'm going to bed in a few minutes.
You said you had something to share with us.
I do. I've been waiting to tell you. Thursday was Cat and Yogi time.
Yep.
And then Friday you were singing, and I didn't really want to come up and interrupt that, so I didn't bother.
You could have done it in song, by the way.
Yeah, but it's good news, and I don't want to ruin it by singing or anything like that. So I thought I'd come up and tell you seriously because it is good news.
Okay.
It's nothing to do with my operation or anything like that. I'm still waiting for the letter to come. But I have got into the rugby.
Oh, awesome. That is good news.
They
big congratulations.
Thank you. Cheers. Appreciate that. I really do. So the woman who's been trying to get hold of them had no luck, and she said to me, and I really believe her. She said if they don't answer me soon, I'm just going to go down there and demand to speak to the person I need to speak to. And she really would. I believe she would. I've gotten to know her quite well. We've been professionally. We've been for coffees and things like that, just to get to know each other. But yeah, no, I wanted to share that with you all because I've been waiting for so long to hear and to be able to do it that it was, to me, it's big news. So I wanted to share that with you all.
Big news to us too, because I remember when you brought it up, and I had asked you about it a few times, and you were on the fence. Well, you weren't on the fence, but the situation was on the fence.
Yeah.
And I knew you really wanted to play.
Yeah, I'm, and they've explained a few things to me. I still need to find out one thing. I need to find out if I need to buy my own shorts and jersey, because some clubs, like the last club I played for, they supplied things. They supplied everything actually. The only thing you had to do was you had to give them something of your own that was personal, which was a bit weird. But you didn't have to give them money. But they just said if you give us something personal, like. Most people left their phones because they were trustworthy, obviously. But a load of people handed their phones over because you're definitely going to go at the end and give the kit back for your phone, aren't you? So a lot of people used to give their phones. I used to give my ID. That was like really like, because people are saying, why are you giving them? Well, it's not like they don't know me, but then at least at the end, someone can't try to return their kit and say that my phone's theirs or anything, for example, because you can hardly get away with saying that my ID is yours.
Right. Hey, two things. When's it start?
Again, I'm not sure. They have said to me that the season starts in September, and they're going to start doing training beforehand. But I don't know the lady at the club's name, but my friend Emma, or she's not really a friend. I shouldn't be calling her a friend, but she is. We've gotten to know each other, like say, professionally quite well. We've been for coffees and things, and getting to know each other. But anyway, she's the one that's doing the corresponding for me on my behalf, essentially. Just because she knows what she's doing, really. In that sense, like admin is her speciality, and
Right.
so yeah, I'm. They have said that the season starts in September. There will be some training beforehand, obviously, in preparation for getting match fit and match ready. She did. I'm sure she told me when it is. It's like on a Wednesday evening, and like weekends. It's like 7 o'clock on a Wednesday evening, and then some weekends, and I can't really remember what she said, but the woman who's at the rugby club has offered to meet me one time because I'm quite a nervous person, as you know, which is why I don't show my face on the camera. But the
Right.
woman at the rugby has actually, like I say, she's said to Emma, my friend, the first time he comes, I will be the one that meets him, and shows him around, just so he's got someone familiar to speak to, which is, kind of ironic because I haven't met her yet. But once I do meet her, she's willing to do that for me.
So my second question is, are you gonna start training yourself to get ready for it?
Fitness wise, I'm there. I mean, I've got my bike in. I bike. It's meant to take me an hour to get where I'm supposed to go every Monday for my therapy, and I've
Right.
got it down to 26 minutes on my bike.
Well, nice.
I think it was only the second week of going there, I'd got it down to about half an hour, maybe 35 minutes, something like that. And then, admittedly, I did make myself kind of ill. The next week, I'd got it down to 26 minutes. But as I said, I made myself ill because I'd not given myself that intensity for a while, and I just went into it. Like I say, it was only like the third week, so but no, I'm yeah, fitness wise, I'm there. Rugby itself, I do need the complete refresher, which is why it's great that I can get some training in before September, because in terms of rugby and that kind of stuff, I've not played for well over a year now, and obviously the last time I did play, I broke my ribs, and I need to make sure that I'm fully repaired before just jumping into a match.
Right.
Because I know my own body. Obviously, everyone knows their own body, and I've not had a problem. Touch wood, I've not had problems with my ribs since they sort of mended. However, I've not done anything. I've not had anyone run into me since they've been mended. So it's that kind of thing. I don't just want to jump into a match. Obviously, I do need that training and that refresher. And again, I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to brag and say, oh no, you're wrong, Yogi. I don't need to train, because I'm admitting here, I do need to train. It's just my fitness. I know my fitness levels are still okay. I'm not going to say perfect, because admittedly, I haven't done any rugby for over a year, as I said. But I've been on my bike. I do my running still. So in terms of that, again, I know my body and I'm physically fit enough. It's just whether my body's able to take, being tackled and all that stuff.
Man, I wish I was closer to you, because as a friend, I would just go over and ram into you and talk to you just to help you. That's the kind of friend that I am, Big Al. I want you to know that. I would,
mean,
I would gladly, like, without you knowing it, I'd sneak up behind you and then just slam because I care so much about you.
I mean, that's how they were kind of broken in the first place, my ribs. We was doing the training. Again, this is with the old club. This club that I'm joining is completely new. But yeah, when we was doing a bit of practice because the club I was with before was brilliant. We used to do training sessions, but then on the day of the match, we'd have maybe 45 minutes beforehand. We weren't too strenuous because obviously what we don't want to do is have 45 minutes of practice before the actual match and knacker ourselves, completely wear ourselves out. But what they did do was 45 minutes of light work, just making sure that our tackles are okay and making sure that we're, good to go with the match. But what happened is in the practice session, one of my mates called Joe, he tackled me, but he tackled me completely wrong, and he took me by surprise because he didn't say that he was going to do it. We were just stood talking. There was like 5 of us, and he just went in for the tackle, and I landed on the floor, and I thought I was winded. I was in a bit of pain, but I thought, oh, I've just been winded. Got back up. Everything was fine. Then the match started because again that was the practice. The match then started, and it was maybe 15, 20 minutes into the match that someone else tackled me completely properly, completely legally. I had the ball. He was just tackling me, and that's when my ribs broke. And it was the lead up to that was the whole, being tackled without knowing it was going to happen in a match. You don't know exactly when it's going to happen, but you know it's going to happen at some point because it's a match. You're expecting it all the time. Then. However, when you're just stood talking to your mates, you're not expecting someone to just lunge into you. So yeah, and I'm not sure how to take that, Yogi. That sounded kind of threatening.
I was just trying to be a friend, Big Al. I want you to be as prepared as possible. And if me slamming into you it's like the least I could do. I
appreciate the offer and I appreciate you being a friend. I just the fact you were so sudden and so enthusiastic, it was like you were looking forward to it. It was almost almost threatening.
I am looking forward to helping you. I'm enthusiastic about making you the very best rugby player that you could possibly be. If I thought throwing rocks at you from a distance would be helpful, Big Al, I would be picking up rocks right now.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking this as a threat. I'm taking this as I'm being borderline passive aggressively bullied.
Let's see what the chat has to say. Guys, was I trying to be helpful or was I threatening Big Al? You let me know. Is Cat still here? The Cat's got to take my side unless you start saying tomato all over the place. And then she's going to obviously...
I only say tomato when it's deserved. And, Cat deserves every tomato.
That's unfair. Unfair advantage. And I was trying to help you. Thank you. Devlo says I was being helpful.
Yeah, I think it was passive aggressive bullying, if I'm honest.
I like Super Champion's answer. You were terrifyingly helpful.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that. Yeah, that's... Yeah,
thank you. Cheyenne says always helpful. Kat says she is still here. So far, I love Starshine's and Super Champion's answer. But hey, everyone, kind of sending you love, Big Al.
Oh, I love you, Kat. You're my beautiful red-headed tomato.
JR says, I think if you have mushy peas, you can take the impact better. So maybe you were suffering...
That was the problem. I hadn't had any mushy peas that morning.
You know what? I sense that you were deficient in your mushy peas.
I've got to admit that actually, that match we had was a morning game, which would have been very, very early for mushy peas. I'll admit that there is a time for mushy peas, and it's not 9 o'clock in the morning. It isn't mushy pea time.
Hey, we're beaten to the mushy pizza
Oh, who did that?
Sweating and Smiling, and he
Oh,
has
fair
a
enough.
short. He made a short. I think you subscribe to him, right?
I am. Yes, I'll go and have a look.
And he loved it. He took it. He
I'm
was
definitely going
little.
to do it. You know what? I'm genuinely sorry. I had forgotten, and now I need to wait until I get paid again because I've spent so much money this month on games and stuff. I've started playing. I didn't play online like a month ago. I weren't playing online games. I was just playing story mode campaigns and all that kind of stuff. Recently, I've got back into online gaming because I just got really bored of playing games by myself. So
Right.
I've bought more games and spent money on stuff. So I'll admit, yeah, I apologise, but I had also forgotten that actually, even though
That's
it's written
okay.
on a post-it note somewhere.
You're gonna appreciate the video.
Yeah, I'll definitely go and
Deb,
check it out. I didn't see it yet. But that said, there is other videos. My friend M, she posted a video 3 hours ago, and it popped up maybe an hour ago. I only saw it because she'd uploaded a post saying about a recent video, so I went and looked, and I saw that it was uploaded 3 hours ago. And I'm wondering what's going on with YouTube because my notifications are on for yourself, for everyone actually. My notifications are always on because I like to make sure I'm up to date with stuff. For some reason today, videos and stuff are just I'm not getting told.
weird. Hey,
That's why I'm late to your live actually, Yogi, because I was looking and I just thought, hold on a minute, Yogi isn't live yet. And the only thing that's popped up recently is a short. I can't remember what it was. I literally just put the comment. Someone said thank you for this video. So that's what I mean. It was literally, and that's the only thing that popped up recently today from yourself. Weird.
it is a little weird. Hey, our friend Deb says, "Not lad, munchy peas and a bit of toast for breakfast is nice."
I've never. I don't know if I've ever had mushy peas for breakfast.
That's surprising.
Yeah,
Kind of
like
thought.
I don't know. I don't recall ever having them on purpose for breakfast. I've probably had them with something. I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, by the way, Sweating and Smiling ate that slice of pizza in about 3 bites, and then licked his fingers and just looked so pleased with himself. He said he's going to do this on a regular basis.
I'm definitely going to do it. That's not a lie. When I make a promise, I follow through that promise. I'm just like I say, I've been busy, as you know. I hadn't been in. I mean, how long had it been since I came into one of your lives, Yogi? It's been a long time.
It's been 26 days, 14 hours, and 36 minutes, 14 seconds. Not that I'm counting, Big Al. Not that my heart's a little bit broken. Uh, just I got a little timer set up. I call it the Big
That
Al timer.
that I would normally say is quite sad. However, that is quite specific. So if that's actually true, then I'm actually really I can't remember the word. Like proud almost. It's not proud isn't the word, but that's how it makes me feel that you've actually been keeping track of that. That's really
I'll be honest. I have not been that specific. However, we have talked about you. We mentioned you. Kat mentions you. Uh, you've been missed, and we always
I had
appreciate it.
Shirley and Lee both commented on shorts and videos that I posted, shorts and posts that I uploaded, saying that they missed me. So it was nice that people, not that I was, wanting people to do that. I didn't expect it really. I was just really busy, but it was nice to go onto YouTube and see that Shirley and Lee had both said they missed me and asking where I was. Apologies, I got hiccups. That's because I'm talking really fast. But no, it's nice that people have missed me. Again, not that I expect it because I really didn't. It was actually a nice surprise when I came onto YouTube and there was, comments from Shirley and Lee saying, "Where are you? We've missed you," that kind of thing. It's really nice.
We do, and again, you have been mentioned. And I want you to know that you're a valued and valuable part of our community.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. As you know, I see you as a real friend and not a virtual friend. And I know that sounds odd. But there are people on YouTube that, channels. I mean, that I watch on YouTube, and I don't mean anyone here. Kat is a friend. Shanae is a friend. Skits is a friend. Lucy is a friend. But what I mean is, there are some channels I watch on YouTube, and they are just channels I watch. Like the gaming channels, they don't have massive communities where they do live streams like this. Their live streams are just gameplay, and you don't get to chat with people. But whereas here, you're all, I see you as real friends and not virtual friends or people on the other side of the world. As I've said many times, and I apologize for repeating myself, but it's the truth. I wouldn't say it if it weren't.
Right. Hey, I want to read something to you. Our friend JR says, "Are you following JR, by the way?"
No, he's new to me. This is the first stream I've seen him in.
You'll like his channel quite a bit. He's a great guy. He says the top level rugby players have mushy peas in the morning. It's like a performance enhancing drug.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I used to eat bananas in the morning. I'd have 2 bananas in the morning, a bowl of cornflakes with a little sprinkling of sugar on. And then when I got to the actual game, I'd have another banana and maybe an energy drink, and then water and stuff like that, and other kind of drinks and stuff. But then we'd have the game, and yeah, it's just one of the things. I don't think I've ever eaten mushy peas in the morning on purpose. I've probably had them with something, but not. I wouldn't go in the cupboard in the morning and get a tin of mushy peas out.
I've never eaten mushy peas on purpose or by accident.
There's still time. I mean, passive aggressive bullying. I'll ship you a tin of. I'm gonna check on how much it is for shipping a tin of mushy peas.
Oh,
One
JR
tin.
says
One tin.
JR says it was a joke. I was taking you seriously.
I took it seriously as well, because I didn't. I thought that maybe rugby players might eat peas, because at the end of the day, it's protein. So I thought maybe there was truth to it. The fact that it's a performance enhancing drug. I didn't take anything from that. I thought that bit was, just a mess around. But
right.
Rugby players may eat mushy peas in the morning because at the end of the day, it's protein. So
I was going to say,
make sense.
My dislike of mushy peas aside, wouldn't be a bad thing to have before a game or even after for, as you said, the protein for recovery.
Exactly.
Super Champion says, Mr. Yogi will help you whether you like it or not. It's inevitable. I appreciate that. Hey, our friend Burpee Reaper climbed a mountain today with his wife.
Sorry, repeat that, Yogi.
The Burpee Reaper in the chat right now, he climbed a mountain today with his wife.
Wow.
And she wore a 20-pound weight vest to climb it.
That's good going.
It is. Michael says, Yogi doesn't even like mashed potatoes with gravy on it. I don't like pre-mashed foods.
Well, I don't even know what to say now, Yogi. You've hurt my feelings.
How could I hurt your feelings after telling you that I would blindside you with tackles and pelt you with rocks? I've showed you how much I care about you.
I don't see it as support, as borderline bullying.
But borderline means there's hope that I can change your mind.
Perhaps, yes.
I think I just froze for a second.
You didn't, for me. I didn't catch it if you did.
Carl says, Yogi only likes pancakes. Now you're talking my language, Carl.
See, I don't like pancakes.
And yet, because of my practice of forgiveness, I've been able to put that aside and still be your friend. And yet,
It's a very weird thing though, Yogi, because I used to like pancakes. I think it's how certain people make them. To be fair, it's like with a few things. It's very weird. I'm not easily put off food in certain situations, and then other times I am easily put off food. So bacon. I used to love bacon when I was younger, and then I stopped liking it. And then I liked it again when my mum used to cook it. And then I stopped liking it when I was in the Air Force because it was cooked. And since then, I've not tried it again because it put me off. But it's weird how I can watch war movies, gory movies, and even when I was in the Air Force and we used to do all sorts of training together, I could eat while watching certain things or hearing people talk about certain things. That doesn't bother me. That doesn't put me off. But someone cooking me something in the wrong way, which is like my stepdad, awful pancakes. He was the last person to make me pancakes, and I've not had them since. And he makes them really thick and really sickly, and I don't like it, and that's put me off. But it's weird how if you were talking about anything, I mean, I don't mean to be gross, but if you were talking about vomit while I was eating, it wouldn't put me off. However, if you made me a pancake really thick and sickly, that'd put me off pancakes because it's weird how I just have it one time, it's not nice, and then I'm like, no, not having it again because it's put me off. And I don't mean the first time I ever have food. If something's bad the first time I ever try it, I'm willing to try it again in case it was, a one-off. However,
right?
if I've liked something for years and someone's, made it disgusting 3 times in a row, it kind of puts me off a bit, and it's a weird one. I know, I get it, but
Um, as you know, I I'm all for acceptance of our weirdness without making it a thing. So I don't, you know, like you said, you realize it's weird. As far as I'm concerned, it's okay to have your little weird um particulars, things that I have my own. And I used to be a little like embarrassed admitting certain things, that I do things or why I do them or whatever. I long since have mostly put that aside and just that we are who we are. We don't even really have to explain it to other people.
yeah,
So
that makes sense.
I understand your um, issues with pancakes. I have a similar issue with mushed things. It's the texture of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you've said you've never tried them, so you can't be the texture if you haven't tried them because you don't know that it's a different texture to other foods that you don't like.
Au contraire, my friend. Texture is a multidimensional experience, and you can experience a texture just through sight alone.
Oh, now we're getting all psychedelic and
We are. We're getting cosmic with it. Poor man says, "Weird people weird, normal people weird me out." Says poor man's Jim.
Dev said I remind him of Carl Pilkington, and me and Carl Pilkington have a few things in common. We both like moaning about things.
I don't know who that is.
He's an English comedian. He's done a load of shows. The funniest thing I've seen recently, and it's a re-upload. It's not new at all. But the funniest thing I've seen recently is Ricky Gervais trying to teach him to speak English properly if he was to visit a place, or if tourists were to come and ask him questions on how to buy milk, for example. He's really funny.
Do you like Ricky?
I mean, I like the fact he speaks his mind and is not afraid to, say things that maybe we're all thinking, especially to celebrities, at the BAFTAs and stuff. Not the BAFTAs, the other one, the Oscars. That's it.
Right, right.
Because celebrities seem to think that we should bow down to them and that they're really special when really we shouldn't be feeding that ego. Okay, they do amazing things, they entertain us and things like that, but at the end of the day, they're no special, no more special than you or I, really.
Right. And he said that in an interview once. I actually just heard it on a clip the other day. I don't know why it popped up randomly. And he was asked, "Why do you make fun of the stars, the celebrities, and do you care if they get their feelings upset?" And he said, "I don't perform for the 30 to 50 egos sitting in a room. I perform to the 200,000 people watching who want to be entertained."
Yeah.
And really like that answer.
That's the truth.
Yeah. Carl says we should create a political front called Pancake Republicans.
Can we somehow implement mushy peas in there?
If we absolutely have to. Carl,
Let's
I don't
call
think
it
you've ever. I don't think Carl's ever spoken up about mushy peas before.
Let's call it Mushy Pancake Republicans.
Mushy pea Republicans. I'm waiting to. I will subscribe to your newsletter and read what you have to say, and then I will make an educated choice on my political party.
But no, I do agree with what Ray says sometimes. He's very on the nose with things, and that's how I am. I don't have a filter. I say it how it is. If I've got a problem with somebody, I tell them I've got a problem. I don't talk about people behind the back. That's the one. I mean, there's a few sometimes positive things about me, but that is one of the ones to pick out about myself. I don't give myself a lot of praise. However, the one thing I will say about myself is I'm honest, and if I have a problem with somebody, I'll tell them I've got a problem with it. Because I'm like that. If someone's got a problem with me, then I would like them to tell me. So I'm like that with other people. If I have a problem with someone else, I will tell them, because maybe it will be hurtful, but they need to know that I've got a problem and why I have a problem.
Interesting. I'm a bit of an opposite of that myself.
Fair enough.
If I have a problem with someone else, it's because my thoughts are giving me a problem of someone else. So they don't need it. They don't need to hear it. It's between me and my thoughts, and not between me and them.
There was a guy I met called Ben, and he was an okay person as far as personality goes. But he was a user and a scrounger. So it didn't matter whether he knew you or not. So we had a neighbour. We had a joint neighbour, and he used to knock on her door all the time and ask for coffee, milk, sugar, tea bags, and food. And there was a shop right across the road. And I said to him one day, "You claim to have all this money," because he claimed that his mum had won the lottery and she gave him £15,000. And this is like my first day moving in. He told me this story, and it's when I moved in, he didn't know me. If he'd said I've got £15,000 because my mum won the lottery, how does he know I'm not going to break in and rob him? And that's because on that first day we met, I was a stranger at the end of the day. I just moved in and he told me that. And it's like, well, that's a bit stupid telling a complete stranger that. But either way, a couple of months down the line, like I said, he knocked on we had a mutual neighbour. He used to knock on her door and ask me. I used to borrow stuff off her, but I'd buy her it back. So there was one time I asked her for a tin of beans. I couldn't be bothered to go to the shop. I'd been quite ill. I'd been in bed all day. And I decided at about 9 o'clock at night I was hungry. And I decided to have sausage, chips, and beans. I didn't have any beans, so I knocked on her door, In fact, she'd knocked on my door in the afternoon and said, "Are you okay?" Because I hadn't seen you all day. Because I was quite I was always busy. She always used to wave out the window when she saw me because her window looked onto my door. So every time I went out, I waved. Anyway, back to the point. I said to him one time, "Why do you always knock and ask her for things when you claim to have all this money?" And his response, and it wound me up, his response was, "Why would I spend my money where I can knock on her door and have it for free?" And it was
Yeah.
then I stopped speaking to him completely, and he knocked on my door one time and said, "You never speak to me anymore." And I just blatantly turned around and said, "That's because I don't like you." He said, "Why don't you like me?" "Because you're a scrounger and a user. And you literally said to me the other day when I asked you why you always borrow things off her and don't give her it back, you said that it's because you won't spend your money when you for free. So I don't want to have anything to do with you." And that's what I mean. If I've got a problem with someone, I will tell them. And I don't hide it from people anymore because I used to bite my tongue. I used to be a people pleaser and just hold on to things and let things bottle up. And I realized it was taking its toll on me because I now was easily stressed and easily agitated and annoyed by really small things. And I realized it's because I never told anyone how I was feeling. I kept hold of everything, bottled everything up. And then I realized, well, if I tell people how I feel, because the first time I told someone how I felt, it was like a weight had been lifted off me. It was like, wow, I was able to tell that person how I felt. Okay, they were upset, but we're still friends because I was honest with them. If I'd carried on lying to their face and saying, "No, I'm fine," every time I saw them, and then eventually had a massive outburst and said something horrible, we probably wouldn't still be friends. However, one day I got wound up, said, "This is what's winding me up. You're annoying me because you're doing this." And they were like, "Right, okay, I'm sorry." And like I say, we're still friends because I was able to tell them how I felt.
Right. That makes sense. I agree.
And I've lived by that since. I'm very careful about what I say. I'm not horrible to people on purpose. But at the end of the day, I will get my point across and tell them, how I'm feeling. Again, I
I
won't be
would.
completely nasty. I've
Right.
had arguments with people where someone said something. I've had arguments with them. They've taken what I've said completely the wrong way. But then 15, 20 minutes later, we're acting like nothing's happened because we're getting along again because I've explained what I meant and they've apologized for, overreacting sort of thing. It's all about taking accountability and sorry, Kat, I am talking really fast.
Hey, Big Al, I'm
Yes,
gonna
you.
interrupt because Jessica's gonna go to bed, or she's gonna sign off, and I promised her some breath work.
That's fine. I'm going to jump back into the chat anyway. Well, I'm actually going to bed myself. I apologize. I
That's okay.
didn't mean to take over again. I really apologize for
Big Al, it's called the Big Al and Yogi Show for a reason.
that.
You're always welcome.
Thank you. And it was nice to come up and tell you my news. I've been waiting for about a week to tell you that.
I know. I remember you coming on and saying you had big news. I'll be honest with you. I was hoping it was this. I wasn't sure what it was, but I was hoping it would be this. Either that or about your operation.
Yeah, I mean, when I get an update about my operation, I'll probably come back up and tell you that when I'm having my operation. But
Right.
no, I'm glad it was something positive to tell you.
I am too.
I mean,
Yep.
I would never come up and say, I'm dying or anything like that. I mean, extreme, but it's an example. But I would never come up and say I'm dying. I would just try and tell you somehow in a better way. But no, I anytime anything good, I'm going to come up and say, Yogi, this is what's going on. But no, good night, Merry Christmas. I'll let you do your breathing work because people are trying to go to bed. So I'll see you tomorrow.
Yep. Merry New Year's.
Thank you very much. Happy birthday.
Thank you, Big Al. Our good friend Big Al. Cat says, reminds me of A Course in Miracles. I don't know what number. If I defend myself, I am attacked. Yes. So, guys, we're going to do breath work. Jessica, you still with us? Foreman said, the turtle sea of mush peas and Yogi's nightmare. Yes. Cat says, Big Al, I love you so much. Janae says, brains turning mushy peas. All right, Jessica, let's do a deeply calming breath. We're going to do 4, 7, 8. So we breathe in. Hey, Color My World. We breathe in for count of 4. We hold for count of 7. And we're going to exhale with a slow, extended whoosh for count of 8. See my pursed lips? My tongue is on the roof of my mouth, upper palate, behind the front teeth. As if I am trying to gently blow out a candle on a birthday cake, and I don't want to get slobber all over it. We've all been there before. We've all slobbered on a birthday cake before. So, whoever wants to participate, if you can close your eyes, bring a very soft focus to your breath, and bring that focus to the tip of your nose, and feel the breath as you breathe in through your nose, and feel the breath as you exhale through your nose. In through the nose and out through the nose. Using the power of your awareness, the power of attention, put a very light, soft attention on your jaw. If you feel any tension, breathe in, breathe out, and relax. Bring that attention down to your shoulders, relaxing the shoulders with every out breath, all the way down to your fingertips. Bring attention down to your legs, down through the toes, just letting your attention travel. Breathing in, notice your belly. Now, when you breathe in, your belly expands outwards. As you breathe out, it falls back, just like a tide. With that, we're going to do a couple of the ocean's breath, making that ha sound as we breathe in. Very gentle snore as we breathe out. Whole body's relaxed. Every out breath, you can feel the tension leaving your body. Count of 3. We're going to breathe in for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. Breathing in through the nose, exhaling through the mouth, pursed lips for a count of 8. 1, 2, 3. Breathing in for 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathing in for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale with a whoosh for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Whoosh for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Whoosh for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale with that whoosh. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let it all out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And let the breath go, allowing it to settle in its own easy and natural pattern. Relaxed, stress-free, ready for the rest of the night, knowing that you can return to the breath at any time to calm yourself, to relieve tension, to help you sleep. The breath is always present. It is your tool to navigate through anything that life brings you. If you need help using it, reach out. I will help you here. I will help you privately. Just let me know. When you're ready, open your eyes. I love you. Kat says, Night Yogi, much love, chat. Much love to you, Dan. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. Mike, I'm glad you like the breath. Joe says it's mushy pea madness, mushy peas and Yogi's dreams. I'm not surprised if that would happen. I am presented with mushy peas every day, every live stream. It's a very, very valuable breath. I keep mentioning, Mike says, I just went from a place of memories to a place of peace and love. The breath will do that. And this breath in particular, it's an ancient yogic breath, thousands of years old. Jessica says, thank you, Eric. I love you. I love you too, Jessica, and you're welcome. Always. Mike, that's okay. Carl says, I never understood the impact of that, nor did I try to see if it worked. It's sort of a catch-22 there. You don't understand the impact, and you haven't tried it. So it keeps us kind of trapped. Hey, thank Dev. Thank you so much. Dev just became a member. I haven't talked about the membership a lot. I have been doing daily videos of the course. I haven't done a breath video for a while, but I need to start. But basically, the membership is just to support the channel because this is it. This is my gig. This is what I do. I'm a professional of this. Whatever this is. Whatever this is, I do it professionally, which also means that I can't do this in the Olympics because I'm no longer an amateur. Kind of sad. Mike says, so now I did used to meditate years ago. You want to start back up, Mike? I'm a certified meditation teacher. And one of the reasons why I started my YouTube channel was basically so I could teach breathwork, meditation, Course in Miracles, basically for free. Like I said, I do appreciate the membership, people who get memberships, which again is why I really appreciate Dev so much. This is Dev's second appearance, guys. So let's do two things. Let's mod Dev up in case he wants to reach out to people. And let's visit Dev's channel. Dev, if you ever decide you want more subscribers, let us know. I have subscribed. I did when you came in earlier today. Mike says, I need to connect with you as a friend. I got you, Mike. Hey, are you on Facebook by any chance? Hey, Mike, you don't have to worry about anything, money or anything. I have never, and nor will I ask uh, anyone to pay for services. I won't tell the story again because I tell it so often about why I decided to do this after being a caregiver for so long and for several people. Um, I felt called to continue being a caregiver, but on a broader level. So if someone would really ask me what my channel is about, I would say it's about being a caregiver. But in fact, I thought the other day why I didn't actually. I think it's because Just a Yogi was the first thing that came to me. Um, but had I really given it a thought, I might have said just a caregiver. I don't think it would have been as maybe as memorable as Just a Yogi. I do consider myself a yogi, a serious one, but I'm also a caregiver. We do have a lot in common. Carl says, "Hey T, hey T." So Jessica, I hope that was helpful for you, my friend. I know you might have signed off by now. I am too in just a few minutes. We did make it an hour. I wasn't sure I was going to. Mike said his wife died. I'm sorry, Mike. I was a caregiver for my mom and for my dad. Kat says, thank goodness you consider yourself a yogi. That would confuse all of us since we call you yogi. Well, but I also still picnic baskets. So either way, it's fitting. I have to admit, um, I like I like when certain people call call me yogi. Mike says, but I stayed until the end. Mike says, thought I was using my mind. Caregiving is it's a tough thing. I wonder if it's easier when it's your job. Now you have a little level, a little buffer zone of impartiality or maybe partiality. What's the word I'm looking for? Mike, I'm definitely your friend. Let's get to small Mike. Love you, Brisky. Hey, Mike, you're definitely going to find a lot of love from everyone here. He says hi to everyone. He says Skits was his hint. He likes the Yogi song. He knows I do. Um, yeah, what is your job? Not that it's easy, but it's your calling, it's your dharma. That's what you're supposed to do, and you're professional at it. But when you're a caregiver for a family member, um, you're so emotionally involved. Because I had that a difficult relationship a lot from my mom. Yeah, a lot of people are professional caregivers. Mike. As a matter of fact, people thought that that's something that I might want to pursue. When my father passed away, I could not consider doing it on that intimate level with someone as a job. It would be too much for me. He says I was a caregiver, carer for over 40 years of my life. Mike says I was laid off from my job. Caregiver. Gotcha, T. It sounds like it, Mike. And now you're in the Philippines, right? So, Mike, I'm awful glad you found us. I know you found us through Lucy, and I'm awful glad that you're friends with Lucy. She's a wonderful person. She's a good friend to have. Dibla says being a caregiver sounds exhausting. It is. It is, especially um, for my father. I was his critical caregiver. He was the easy person to be a caregiver for up until the very last 6 months of his life. And then I was responsible for virtually everything. And that was hard for my father. My number one rule with my dad was self respect, to let him know as often as possible, but in a very casual way, not making a big deal of it, that he was my father, that uh, I deferred to him. Not that he demanded it, not that he demanded that kind of attention. Um, my father was remarkable in many ways. Um, he was not quite as ego involved as you might think someone of his generation might be, especially someone who was a scientist or a science teacher and never pursued anything spiritual one way or the other. Very scientific view of the earth. He did practice meditation, the relaxation response by Herbert Benson, which was based upon transcendental meditation. But he did it scientifically. Reduce blood pressure, relax, help him sleep. Mike says, Lucy doesn't judge us. No, she doesn't. Caregiver age 4 to 46, I guess. I'm glad you met Venus, Mike. So caregiving for my mom was fairly exhausting too because she was dying very slowly of Alzheimer's. It's okay, Mike. Mike says, I think science proves other things. I love science too. I don't know personally if I use the word proof. I think science tells a particularly useful story. I talked about this with Sniper a few days back. There's really no such thing as an atom or a particle or a subatomic particle. There's no such thing as a cell or a molecule. There's no such thing as a mitochondria. Those are useful stories and labels that we use to describe aspects of life that are really beyond our understanding because no one knows why there's a cell. We can talk about what it's made up of, composed of, how it acts, but why is there a cell? Mike says, think quantum frequency. Evan says, there is right. What do you mean, Evan? So, Mike, with a brain that never stops, yeah, meditation would be particularly helpful. I just saw the message. See, I haven't been able to reply, but that's okay. Mike says, I love this. Me too, Mike. I love these discussions. I very much appreciate you being here and being part of it. Mike says, I think maybe many hard sciences are useful, but disheartening. What do you find disheartening about them? So just because they say it's a label and a story doesn't mean, like I said, it is very, very useful. Stories can be useful. The story of quantum physics, which again is completely made up, doesn't mean that the experiences aren't real. But we've given something that doesn't have a name a name. We've described how something acts and think that we understand the entirety of the universe, which of course is beyond our understanding. But the story of quantum physics has given us so much. Same with, the story of biology, the story of chemistry. Lisa says, love you so much, my friends Mike and Venus. Evan says, no one really knows why the sun has a influence on the earth, but they say space as itself is the culprit. I was waiting for Carl to say something. Carl is very scientifically minded. Science is a cool thing to know, but the tests they give you at school make you hate it. I can see that. The closest thing we can see is an atom. But we don't really know what an atom is. We don't even know what we are, let alone an atom. And again, it doesn't mean that we don't get great use from the story of an atom. We certainly do. Mike says, I missed the message. Hey, Skeeter. Skeeter, how are you? How's your weekend? Oh, what about the sun? Evan had said, no one really knows why the sun has an influence on the earth, but they say space as itself is the culprit. My cat is telling me to go to bed. He says, Dev, I lost my faith too, but for other reasons, my pastor has no answers. Carl says, scientific. I'm just a nerd. The two aren't mutually exclusive. Mike says, I believe in spirit. Skeeter says, took the day off. Coming back to regular schedule live every day. I was hanging out with you in the background yesterday, Skeeter. Mike says, UV energy, etc., photons. That's a basic start. All right, guys, we'll wrap things up in about 2 or 3 minutes, if you don't mind. I'm going to go to bed. I get up pretty early. So again, Dev, I appreciate the membership very much. Evan says, you ever hang out with your brother in the kitchen when we're cooking at the same time? We used to go to bars together. He still goes to bars. Since I don't, we don't do much. But we're friendly, get along. In a way, I'm actually my brother's caregiver. He does not. I don't want to say too much about my brother. It's not my position to do so, but he doesn't have. He doesn't really have anyone in his life, so I'm there for him. Mike says I shut up, but I want to say that I love this conversation and each of you. I hope you never shut up, Mike. I hope you keep coming back and you keep participating. And I love the conversation too. And I love you, and I know that we love you. He says, Skeeter, we all need a break at times. We certainly do. Dev says, I found that regardless of how much I did or didn't love Jesus, reality and the law of nature still pushed or proved my faith wrong. It was a very hard time for me. What did you come up with, Dev? Skeeter says, yep, from now on, every Sunday is my day off. I can understand that. One day I will take a day off, and who knows what's going to happen. Evan says, I wish my brother was nice. Your brother's lucky. We've had our moments between us. We are very, very different people. Maybe your relationship will mend, Evan. I hope so. He says, Dev, thanks for sharing. It was a very hard time for me too. Uh, she was age 16. He says, me and Mike got deep into interesting topics. I bet. Hey, Josh. Josh says there's 3 levels of crazy: slightly crazy, crazy, and Josh. I would agree with that. He says, Mike, please come back. Yogi is live 3 times a day, every day. He has helped and supported many. Thank you, T. Mike says, T, I've been here many times and acclimating towards it. I have. I've actually got in a physical fight with my brother. Was not happy about it. And it was my fault. Very tense time. It involved my mother. I did not like something. I spoke up about it. It did not go well. Particularly stressful time involving my divorce and where my mother was with her Alzheimer's. And watching someone in my family mistreat my mom. And I broke out, and it got out of control. Brian says, hey, Eric, just heard your message. I hope it resonated somewhat, Brian. Dev says, I honestly have found nothing. Though I do wish I could believe again, but I can't fake believe. I understand that. I did apologize to my brother right after. I could have de-escalated it. I should have. I did not. But it took a little while to mend the fences. Hey, Dev, have you ever heard of A Course in Miracles? Talk about it often. What I love about the Course is you don't need to believe the metaphysics at all for it to work. The same reason I love yoga. He's asking Josh about wheels. Can I ask what type of wheels do you have? I have 4 wheels as I'm in a wheelchair. I'm just intrigued because of the name. Josh is truly, truly one of a kind. Thanks for the rainbow and unicorn vibes. Carl says I never liked studying, but I had never enjoyed it. But the only way I could escape was through studying and make up for my parents' hard work and make them happy. Nothing else. He says, Mike, yogi's a good egg. That might be the best thing anyone's ever said about me. Mike says, I look at every fault in my life as my fault. You know what? Me too. But you know what? I don't do it to blame myself any longer. Had I known better, had I been able to do better, I would have done better. Mike says, I am the worst you can meet. Well, he said, but here we go. Let's switch that to, but here we are. Everything's different now. Carl says, God is not real to me. If he ignores me, I will ignore him too. Let's talk about that next time. He says, Mike, when you're at your worst, things can only improve. Hang in there, my friend. Thank you, T. Well, Mike, you actually can forget the past. Or you can, in a way, I don't like the word disassociate, but it is fitting in some ways. The past truly doesn't exist outside of a thought. And in the absence of the thought, where is it? Can you put your finger on a thought? Can you put your finger on the past? Can you live in the past outside of a thought? You just know it doesn't exist any longer. The thought, everything, that's the practice, that's the true practice of forgiveness. It's forgiveness is a very Zen like activity. It puts us smack dab in the present moment. Where does the past exist? I hope someday, maybe it sounds weird, I hope someday you do forget the past. Doesn't mean that you can't think about it, but you know it's no longer real. Dev says, yes, but my past actions can often be seen around me. In what way, though? When you sleep, you have dreams, but every dream takes place in the present moment. Dreams can only take place in the present moment. Anything and everything can only take place in the present moment. So when we say that that I look around and see that actions that have been shaped by the past, that's just a story. A story is not the actuality. In the absence of a story, where are we? We can rewire the brain, and we don't have to believe the brain. We don't have to believe our thoughts. One of the first things that happen in meditation is you notice yourself thinking. And if you notice yourself thinking, you begin this realization. So, wait a minute, I'm noticing. If I notice this cup, there's a noticer and there's the notice. Noticer, there's a witness, and that which is witness. I'm the witness. So, if I'm the witness, I can't be that which I'm witnessing. I'm not my thoughts. Thoughts are coming and thoughts are going. How can it be something that comes and goes? Wouldn't that mean that I was coming and going? And yet, this witness stays. It's the same witness that was present when I was born, the same that didn't have a story to tell about anything because it didn't have the vocabulary for a story. It's the same witness that was here when I was 6 and 16 and 26 and now 60. It's the same witness. And yet, in the end, even the witness disappears. It is just a cup. But this cup comes with a story, right? Where I got it, when I got it, how I got it, what's it do? But in the absence of a story, in the absence of thoughts about a cup, if I saw the cup, truthfully so, beyond a story, it returns us, it re enchants us with the present moment. It's the same with every one of our thoughts. It's the same with our past. It's the same with our memories. A memory is not the thing. The thing doesn't exist any longer. Mike says, kindred souls. You are so articulate, yet I feel like you're a kindred to me. Well, thank you, Mike. And thank you, Carl. Carl says, good night, everyone. Have sweet dreams. You too, my friend. All right. Dev says, I love talking about this, Dev. I understand the idea of us being not being our thoughts, but I can still see the effects of the past actions. I can see the markings of past mistakes. But that's the story that we tell ourselves. If you could see whatever it is that you think is a marking of a past mistake, if you could see it without that story of the past that no longer even exists, if you didn't have a thought about that, what would it be? If you didn't have that thought past mistake, what would that thing be? So some of the things we could do is tell a different story about it. But even that, again, is just a story. That's helpful, but it's not the end result we're looking for. What we're looking for is to let the story go completely. And that's the process of forgiveness. Mike has a question. All right. And then I got to go to bed. So, in the meantime, T says, don't worry about the typos. I'm used to it. I speak in typos. That says, not going to get too deep into it, but my brother lost his life because of my past mistake. It's not just a story. He's no longer around us. He's no longer around. I can understand that. I can definitely understand that. And that's a hard subject. In the end, though, and when you say something is a story, that's not to make light of it, and it's not to make light of the impact that it's had or the loss that you've been through. But when we realize we tell the story of a mistake, we tell the story of loss. But if we see things deeper, if we let that go, one of my favorite quotes on forgiveness is that forgiveness is giving up all hope of a happier past, which again brings us back into the present moment. Hey, Abigail, brings us right back into the present moment. It's also why, not to get religious, this is also why Jesus said, let the dead bury the dead. Ever says, you ever have a grudge in someone? Yes, it's been a while though. I'm not saying it wouldn't happen again. I don't think it would, but it might. I don't think it would. I don't think it would last very long. How is it possible that a single person has this power of shaman or whatever it's called? I like shamanism. My cats tell me I gotta go. Um, I've seen some pretty amazing yogis do some incredible things. I was actually with someone who's considered a yogic saint, and approaching her, everything went silent. Even the thought of having a thought was an impossibility. Never felt anything that profound before. Yep, some things are beyond our vocabulary. So, hey, Dev, I know that probably wasn't an easy thing to share. So instead of getting too deep into the woods about the past, stories, memories, and blame and fault, instead of getting into too deep in that, let me just say that I'm sorry. I'm sorry for your loss and that we love you. I believe you. I've seen some pretty odd stuff too. All right, guys. Mike says, love you all. Love you too, Mike. Thanks for coming in and hanging out with us. Mike says, you ever feel rage to not spawn out? Not in a very, very, very long time. I worked through a lot of stuff. Dev says, thank you, Yogi. I'm not sure how to process what you said, but thank you. Thank you, mate. You're welcome, Dev. You're welcome. Mike says, I truly do care about people. I could tell that. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off. Love you all. We'll be back 5 a.m. if you want to hang out. Thanks so much. Lucy says, take care. Hey, Lucy's going to be, hey, Danny. Lucy's going to be up live streaming with me Thursday afternoon, 1 o'clock. And then Thursday evening-ish, Cat and Jack. Thursday is one of my favorite days of the week. All right. Love you guys. Take care.